truly excited for what this means. Because first you get legs, then you will get feet. Pretty soon, you'll be able to walk out of the metaverse and go literally anywhere else. In climate news, New Zealand has just announced a plan to fight methane emissions by taxing cows for their burps. And this is how much billionaires are winning in the world. Even cows are getting taxed before them. And by the way, even if you support this
Good morning time, good evening time, good afternoon time, whatever the case may be. What's going on, E-World? What it do, what it do, what it do. Alright, so I'm going to connect on this tablet today. And do some reconfiguring on this controller. On this mic real quick, and then I'm going to pull the bomber back in and hook up this e-brake on that. At least I'm going to try to, man. I really don't have the energy for none of this shit today, man. I'm moving in slow motion. My ass was up all night long again, fucking with that damn, you know what. But anyway.
Your co-workers unless you want some extra vacation time. All right, let's move on to some of the biggest stories of the day, which for some reason all involve racism. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of racism, but it's a pretty hot thing these days. And by these days, I mean the last like 1,000 years. Now, for some reason, it seemed like everyone was extra racist this weekend. I don't know. Like 3-day weekend, you know, people had a little more time to kick back and work on their racism. Whatever it was, it almost seemed like people were comfortable.
Alright, like I said before, as far as connecting with these Kelly controllers and the dongles, you gotta first, let me turn this off on my phone. And my phone gonna be trying to connect.
What makes this racism special is that it's from a senator, one of the 100 best people in America.
I gotta locate it on this tablet.
Senator Tommy Tuberville,
as the phone doesn't show you all the, you don't get all the access for some reason.
Senator Tuberville called out Democrats as being pro-crime. He also suggested that people who want reparations for ancestral slavery are to blame for the crime.
The Democratic Party, they have majority.
Did I call somebody by accident?
They won't crime.
I'm sorry. I'm live and I heard you over there saying hello, hello. Alright, goodbye. Sorry. Later, baby. Damn, I do them butt dials or accidental calls all the time.
That thing you just made up right now about reparations is bullshit. We can't have that fake thing happening. Woo! I gotta say, people, I've heard racists say all kinds of things. I've heard them say that black people are criminals, and I've heard them say that reparations are reverse racism, but it takes a true racism innovator to combine both ideas at the same time. Yeah, this is like the stuffed crust pizza of racism, because I knew you could have crust, and I knew that you could have cheese, but I didn't know that you could put the cheese inside the crust that's holding the rest of the cheese, because now the crust is holding the cheese at the same time. It's genius! Now,
alright, first I gotta disconnect again.
If you're confused by what this man is saying, congratulations.
And let me show y'all. See that red light in there flashing again? I tried to show y'all that yesterday. So, man, sometimes it's hard to connect on this damn thing. You gotta keep doing it over and over. But you'll know when I connected, it goes silent. God damn it. Come on, come on. Don't act a fool today. There we go. Alright. So it's connected. Alright, now we're going to read it. There we go. Bam. We in there. So, I'm going to throw y'all back up here real quick. If I'm saying y'all, is anybody here? Somebody's here. Let me see who's there. Oh, I should have known you'd be there. Yeah, man, I'm getting a late start, bro. Getting a late start, but I'm going to try to make it happen. Obviously, it won't be by the time you get in. But you said you wasn't no rush. But I'm going to try to make it happen today. Or late today. At least by tomorrow morning. I'm going to finish this. Man, you know I'd have been mad yesterday if I'd have brung this over there and got that and came back home and left the damn dongle in there. So, yeah, it's good we didn't do it like that. Because you know I would have forgotten, left it in there.
The first Latina chosen to lead the Los Angeles City Council.
Since it's in there, I'm going to make my adjustment on this first.
With 3 Latino Democrats. At one point, Martinez talks about the black child of Mike Bonnet, a white council member. In Spanish, calling the boy a little monkey.
Wow. Okay. Now this is the screen you need to go to when you make the adjustments on the Kelly controller as far as the e-brake and the acceleration time. As you can see right there, the acceleration timing, they got that set on 5. The lower is better. That's why that bike, when you crank it, it doesn't go straight 100% throttle. Let me see something. When I touch on it, all right, you can see right there the throttle timing, TPS torque, 0 to 0.1 max. And the numbers is 0 through 25. They got it on 5, so that gives it a delay. There's a slight delay in the torque. So if I make that 0, that'll be instant torque, which I'm going to do. You know we want that instant torque. So I'm going to set that at 0. And on the same screen right here, this is where you turn on the e-brake and the regen. Now right there, that BRK AD is the regen braking. And right here, well no, I'm sorry, messed that up. Right here is the regen braking, the RLS braking percentage. So we're gonna go ahead. Wait a minute. Now I'm confusing myself because I'm thinking I'm working on your bike. I ain't even putting no regen on this. But I was just letting you know. when you go into this screen right here, that's what you have to do to turn on the regen and the e-brake. Damn, I'm confusing my damn self with these 2 different bikes. Alright, this one I ain't doing no damn regen. I'm trying to get that acceleration timing set. And like I said, I got that on 0. And also, this is another thing you want to do to get the maximum torque. This is why I'm not getting the maximum torque on this bike either. Because if you notice, the torque KP, that's the maximum torque, is set to 3,000. And I believe you can take that up to 15,000. I believe I'm gonna try to set that at 15,000. This is what I remember the ceiling was on that.
Because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone.
Oh well, this gives a high range on that. 32. Matter of fact, let me take it all the way up. It goes all the way up on this bike to 32,767. So yes, let's put the max in there. That's 32,767. The max on the Bomber was 15,000 RPMs. And naturally that makes sense because that's a mid-drive motor, and the RPMs, you're going to definitely have more RPMs on a mid-drive than on a direct drive. But yeah, I remember the maximum RPM on that direct drive on the lightweight Bomber was 15,000. On this mid-drive is pretty much double because you know that's a smaller gear, that mid-drive gear, so it need more RPMs. Makes sense. So the max is 32,767 we're gonna set that to the max. So that's gonna get that bike a whole lot more speed because it was set down low. Oh man, that thing might be a monster now.
Is that why MAGA people love the My Pillow guy? Is that what this is? But I will say, man, I feel bad for American right-wingers, you know? Because they're getting kind of...
Alright, what else? Any of this other stuff I gotta change?
college dropouts.
Nope, so the acceleration time is 0 and the RPMs, we maxed that out. And that's pretty much all I needed to do on this bike. Let me check. Let me check out the rest of these parameters.
They might even tax him in New Zealand. So, those are the contenders in this week's Amazing Races.
Okay, and I did do some research and find out that it's 32 poles on that motor. So let me go to that and put in the 32. That's on this screen right here. Wait a minute, let me put the 32 in first. 32, okay. Alright, that's on this screen right here. Now I had the wrong amount of poles in there initially because I wasn't sure how many poles that motor had in it, and the only other way you can figure that out is to open it up and count the magnets. I wasn't about to do that, but I did do some research and find out. Oh, and also, you don't have to worry about any of this other stuff because all that stuff mainly will tune itself. But you also want to make sure you have the speed sensors type set at 2. 2 is for hall sensors, hall sensor speed type. And the same thing with the brake type, which is on another screen because you're using hall sensors. You want to set that to 2. Because I'm damn sure don't want to go over all of this stuff with you. Now, just the most important stuff. Let's see. I guess I can do some of this stuff. I think I did that the other day. I'm not sure what all I went over, but real quick, we just want to make sure I do some of this. Okay, the important stuff. All right, the current percentage, we're going to set that to 100, and that controller will already be able to calculate the maximum current percentage from your battery and its BMS. So we just set that at 100%. So as 80 amp BMS is going to be 80 amps at 100%. And same thing for the battery current limit. The motor identity angle on this was 85. I did find that out. Now over here, this is something else that's very important. Depending on if you hook up one of those switches with the low, medium, and high switch, you know how you can buy that little 3-way switch, low, medium, high. If you do that, right here where it says 3-speed, you need to switch that on to 3, obviously, for obvious reasons. Right now, I don't have a low, medium, high switch. I have no switch at all, which is why I have that set at 0. But you also notice right here where they say maximum forward speed percentage. You got the maximum forward speed percentage, you got mid speed, and you got low speed. So if you had 3 gears, you could set those percentages to whatever you want those gears to be. Obviously, high speed, you would want that at 100%. Your second gear, that could be whatever you would want it to be on mid-range. I would set my second gear to like 75, and then the low gear maybe like 40, 50. But right now there is no 3-speed, so we're gonna leave it at 0. But just in case you had a 3-speed, you would want to do that. Let me see, anything else important? No, we're going to switch this anti-theft off because it's on. We're going to turn that off because I don't have an alarm on there.
Even Kanye is looking at this going like, yo, what are you doing, man? You're making our people look bad. And
Yeah, that's pretty much it on that.
my Facebook. I've never been on Facebook and said, you know what, I wish this was in 3 dimensions.
Okay.
I physically interact with this post from a 60-year-old woman.
That's pretty much it. Everything else we're gonna leave be. Alright, so once you get everything set up how you want it, you got your parameters all set, then you're gonna write it. Obviously, you hit write. Then it says data write completed. And you hit OK. So after you wrote it, the way it's going to actually set it, you have to disconnect the battery for about 10-15 seconds. So I'm not going to unplug it. I'm just going to switch this circuit breaker off. Same thing. Switch that circuit breaker off for about 20 seconds. And after we put power back to it, that new tune should be in there. I'll probably try to reconnect it again, go ahead and read it again, just to make sure it got programmed in there. That should be long enough. Alright, so we back to green light again, so that means it accepted the tune. If there was a problem in the tune, it would be flashing red. I'm gonna have to reconnect back to the dongle again, obviously, so let's do that. Before you do that, you'll notice that on the tablet it's still going to say connected, so you're going to have to hit disconnect even though it's not connected, but you're going to have to do that on here. And let's try to connect back again. HC2082. And of course you got to keep doing this a couple times. I hate that. And that's crazy because it actually did connect, but it's saying not connected on here. Okay, there we go, connected. We connected back, so we're going to read it again just to make sure it locked in our tune. Okay, our motor identity angle is locked in. Oh, that's locked in. Let's go back to, okay. As you can see, our torque speed RPMs is locked in at 32,767. Our acceleration time is locked in at 0, so there's no delay on your throttle. That's why, you know, I wasn't getting instant power when I, you know, maxed it out to full throttle. It was a delay in it. So now when I give it the beans, it's going to get 100% throttle immediately. And yeah, it's going to have a whole lot more RPMs than it had. So it should be, in theory, it should be a whole lot faster than it was. And we will find that out later. So, okay, that's done. Go ahead and turn this back off and get this thing out of here. Pull the lightweight bomber bike up. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta take the dongle out of here first. Luckily I left it in a good place where I can just pull it off. Bam! What I do with the little other extension. That's gonna be, I'll do with that damn thing. There it is. This is the little extension that I need to connect it to the lightweight bomber. This has the little 4-pin JST connector on it, but for the lightweight bomber, we need this little DIN cable. We used to connect like that. And let's get this out of here. Get the lightweight bomber up in here. I don't know what the hell that was. Make sure it's not on before I cut my damn fingers off. Now, that'll hold it. This little wheel stand in there. All right.
Once again, America is reeling from mass shootings. All the way from Buffalo, New York, to Uvalde, Texas. People are asking, how long can this keep going on? And here's the good news. In response, a major bill has been announced which would ban the new sales of handguns and allow the government to forcefully buy back assault
I left
rifles
my
in Canada. Yeah, this is completely real. Canada saw what happened here, and they're shutting down guns there. Yeah, at this point, America's basically a scared straight program that gets other countries on the right path. Yeah, it's like, you ever smell someone so bad, you know, that you decide that you need to take a shower? That's what America is with gun laws now to other countries. They're like,
Oh,
we need to
shit,
do
I
something
forgot.
about guns. And while most Americans, liberals and conservatives, are open to common sense restrictions on guns to keep Americans safe, there is still a small yet powerful group of gun who believe the problem with gun violence is not because of guns. No, it's because of everything else.
Part of the problem is how this generation of kids exists mostly online. They see actual violence as is portrayed in the movies they watch, the music they listen to, and the games, the video games they play. When I played war growing up with my friends, the boys were allowed to be boys. I said to my friend Andy, bang, you're dead. But
Where's
the
my
difference is
damn
we knew
tip?
it was fake. And Andy got up afterwards. And we went and jumped in the fire hydrant. Or whoever had a pool.
What? First of all, why do I feel like Andy's fake? And second of all, What is this loser talking about? Kids know that games are fake, my man. No one is turning off Grand Theft Auto like, shit, I just ran over 80 pedestrians. Should I get a lawyer? Oh my God, I'm too young for jail. What am I gonna do? But American music and video games causes gun violence. Totally falls apart when you realize the entire world listens to American music and plays American video games. Yeah, but they have nowhere the same level of America's mass shootings. And don't get it twisted, it's the same music. It's not like in Sweden, there Snoop Dogg is like rat-tat-tat-tat, and I never hesitate to put a hat on a cat. It's the same music. Why are they not getting the same results? And please, gun fanatics, they don't just want to ban video games and music. No. It's going further. They also want to replace those things with what they say are some lost values.
The only solution is Christ Jesus and being able to get some type of spirituality and prayer back into our schools. Right now, today, we live in a country where our millennials' participation rate for churches is under 30% in a lot of locations. This is the lowest church participation we've ever had as a nation. And so it just shows you why you see so much chaos in our streets.
Yeah, I mean, that could be one solution. We need to bring Jesus into our schools. I mean, I don't know how Jesus would feel about that. Yeah, because if I was Jesus, I'd be like, yo, forget that. Look at what you guys did to me with nails. I'm not coming back when there's guns. AR-15, shit, I learned my lesson. But again, if you think gun violence in America is high because people aren't going to church, then why don't they have the same gun violence in Europe? Because there, nobody goes to church. It's like a thing that's done now. If you go to church in Germany, you'll be the only one there. Even the preacher will be like, ah! Oh, jeez, you scared the shit out of me. Nobody comes in here anymore. I even forgot there was a door. Oh my God, that was crazy. Oh. The point is, gun lovers have been blaming the same causes over and over again for decades. Although this time, to their credit, they've come up with a new thing to blame. It's not the guns, it's the books.
We stopped teaching values in so many of our schools. Now we're teaching wokeness. We're indoctrinating our children with things like CRT.
Yeah, that's right. That's how evil critical race theory is. It's only been around for like a year, and it's already caused 3 decades of school shootings.
Oh, Chris, that's very lovely how you left that thing right there so I can plug the dongle up nice and easy. I guess that's... But you know what? I'm not going to... I think I need to...
These guys are like,
well, we can try that.
You know, violent shootings in schools if my wife would stop flirting with.
But you gotta unhook the display anyway, so I mean, it ain't no getting around it.
It sounds like there used to be a lesson.
You gotta unhook the display, so
shooting people, but they never got to it because they spent too long on teaching slavery.
I still gotta get to that.
Sense. And if it's not religion, and if it's not video games, and it's not the music, what else could it be?
And
maybe it was the school's fault.
I gotta get to your
is don't have all of these unlocked back doors.
Your
have
brick
one
wire.
door into and out of the school.
I would like to see this a national push toward, instead of parents buying their kids all these tools and toys and games, invest in the classroom to make it safer. They have blankets that you can put up on the wall that are colorful and beautiful, but they're ballistic blankets.
We need to install man traps, a series of interlocking doors at the school entrance that are triggered by a tripwire. The tripwire can be a gunshot, broken glass, a manual switch tossed by a school employee, and it traps the shooter like a rat.
Dang.
Are these people hearing themselves? You think kids can't tell fantasy from reality, but your suggestion is like, how about we make a school with steel doors that slam and windows that turn into concrete, or even better, the whole school becomes a transformer. Yeah, so that way when the school shooter comes, the whole school can run away from it. Not to mention, have you guys ever been in a school? Huh? You realize the fire alarm gets pulled as a prank like once a week. You think the jocks aren't going to be constantly tossing nerds into the man trap? Do you listen to yourselves? And even if those ideas don't work, even if they don't, there's one solution.
It is tight up in there.
Love to come back to time and time again. And over the weekend, it was proposed yet again by none other than Donald Jarhead Trump.
What we need now is a top-to-bottom security overhaul at schools all across our country. And above all, from this day forward, every school in America should have a police officer or an armed resource officer on duty at all times.
Yeah. You know, you always hear people saying this after a school shooting. What we need is armed police officers in the school. What's amazing about the debate this time is that they're still saying it, even though in the shooting that just happened, there was an armed police officer, and it didn't help. Yeah, classic Trump, proposing a solution after it already failed. I mean, he would have been a lot of fun in the lifeboats after the Titanic. Next time, we should just ram that iceberg really hard. What's the worst that could happen? What do you think, Jack? What do you think?
It's nice how they put two different ends on it. Too bad I don't think I can use neither one of those. But anyway, let me show you guys something. Now, most e-brake brakes come with a wire already on the e-brake that you can hook to your low brake on the controller, and that activates the e-brake. Now, these Magurus don't come with that wire. They just have the hydraulic line for the brakes. So they don't have an actual e-brake wire. So there's this little kit that you can buy that adds this little, if you can see it right there, you can make any type of lever brakes a switch brake, which switches the ground by hooking up this little wire thing right here. And Smokey Chiron already did that part. As you can see, he's got it mounted to the brake lever. So when you pull the brake lever, notice it's pulling a wire mechanically right there. You see it pulling that little wire right there. When it pulls that little wire mechanically, there's a little electric switch inside of this tube right here that turns that into a switched. So only thing is, now I'm going to have to wire that up to this Kelly controller, to the low brake, which I'm going to have to probably add a wire to one of these connectors after I look up on the PDF which one the low brake wire is. But yeah, probably gonna have to do something like this. I had to add this this little wire to this connector to give it 72 volts to turn the controller on and off. Constant 72 volts. Hopefully the brake wire is on this same connector. That would be nice. But we'll see.
What are we doing? Why are you here? If not to solve a problem as existential as this.
Joining us live now from Hartford, Connecticut, please welcome Senator Chris Murphy to the Daily Show. Senator Murphy.
Let me see.
It must feel at some point like you are, you know, going up against an immovable force. It must feel at some point like you're engaging in a conversation that seems to go around and around in circles.
Here's our Kelly PDF.
Like in and around this time,
now we're going to define the low brake. We need the low brake wire.
Even if it is not the perfect solution. Let's jump straight into that and talk about what you see.
Although we could do the high brake too. It doesn't matter. You can use the low brake or the high brake. I explained to you guys the difference between the low brake and the high brake wire. The low brake input switches the signal wire on the brakes to ground. It switches it to ground, that's the low brake. The high brake switches the signal wire on the brakes to the source voltage, which is 72 volts. So you're either switching the signal wire on your brakes to, you know, positive source voltage, 72 volts, or ground. I always like to use the ground because, I mean, that's the safest bet.
About 10 or 12 Republicans and Democrats.
No need in having a hot wire a hot wire running that you don't need running. Because this would have 72 volts running through this cable up to this switch. And that just gives you something extra that can get pinched, or you have an accident, you hit something. You got 72 volts running up there that can short out, and you have some fireworks like I did the other day. So best just to do the ground.
Charlie Brown kicking a football that gets pulled out from under me over and over again enough times to know that maybe this won't turn out differently, but I owe it to the families in Texas, the families in my state, in Sandy Hook, to give it a try.
What seems to be the holdup? What are some of the internal conversations that you're having?
Okay, here we
without
go.
betraying anybody's trust, what are the sticking points? Because if so many Americans, if such a large percentage is in support of many of these common sense
so
measures,
the low,
why then do their representatives
no,
not
that's
seem
the
able
speed
to put those
switch.
things
My
into
bad.
effect?
My bad.
Well, right now, this is a problem only inside the Republican Party. Every single Democrat in the Senate would support things like expanded background checks. And the reason it is a problem in the Republican Party is that to win a Republican primary today, a lot of my colleagues think that you need the endorsement of the gun lobby. Not just because of the money that comes from groups like the NRA, but because
the low break is 22.
Proxy for a broader set of
22. These little connectors are numbered. They got little sleeves on them with numbers. Also, you can go up here to the connector part and cross-reference that number for the color as well. And 22 is
like restrictions on
blue. Blue wire.
They actually will be rewarded by larger numbers of their constituents than ever before that support these things. So I think the political
blue wire on,
let's see, are beginning to change, but it's slow. You know, for decades they were told you can never ever beat the gun lobby in an election. That's not true anymore, but it takes a little while for that lesson to be learned.
Let's talk about some of the concrete steps. Then
there it is right there, 22. And guess what? I was hoping that it was going to be on that same connector, like I said, this one right here, and it is, which makes it real nice. Awesome. I love that. So yeah, I just got to put a terminal in there.
Yeah, I think it's really important to remember that there's a mass slaughter in this country every single day. I get it. There's good reason why this country pays more attention after a catastrophe like Uvalde, but there's 110, 120 people every single day who die from guns. And in fact, since Uvalde, there's been
22, that's the signal wire. And I just need to find a ground wire. Hopefully that plug has a ground wire on it too. That would be great.
About red flag laws. These are the laws that allow you to take guns away temporarily.
And it doesn't, but that's okay.
Signs of doing something disastrous. We're talking about strengthening our background check system. We're not going to get all the way to universal background checks, but making sure that more gun sales come with these background checks.
I mean, it does have
money for
I could use the hybrid because it definitely has that on the same plug. And their high break happens to be 12 volts because it's going through the step down. It has a step down built into this Kelly controller. That's pretty cool. So it's not 72 volt source voltage. They got a step down that's 12 volts. So, being a low voltage step down, maybe we will. No, I think it's best to use a low break.
We've seen what Mitch McConnell has been able to do with the Supreme Court.
I can run a ground wire.
Republicans have been able to do with abortion and restricting it around the country. Do you ever consider these options? Do you ever think to yourself, oh man, we should also be looking at ways to use the tools and the mechanisms that are present to us in America to get something done?
Or it does have a ground on that connector. My bag. It's a ground on here.
We have a majority in the House, the Senate.
Number 6. Number 6 is, yep.
To
man, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. So I'm going to cut, and because it has a male and a female on the same harness, I can just cut one of these off and stick it in the other side and use those same wires, so I don't have to destroy this harness completely. I can just cut one off, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second.
He changed the rules of the Senate, but right now we're a few votes shy in the process of changing the rules.
All right, this is what I'm talking about. Now, this harness, they gave you a male and a female. So if your controller had this actual 3-pin or 4-pin JST plug, you had either. They put both of them on there, so you know if you needed a male or female. But we don't have that because this is a Grin Technologies brake wire, I believe. I'm not sure who it made it, but it's not Kelly. But what I'm talking about is
usually you ask Americans to send them quicker than a restaurant that pre-cooks the food in the morning.
I'm going to cut, as you can see, like I said, they're the same things. So I'll cut this side off. I'll cut the female side off.
Without being accused of attacking Russia. And so just today, President Biden announced this.
This morning, President Biden has announced the U.S. will send another
cut the female side off like that. Where the hell it go? Fell on the
to
floor.
the Ukrainian military. Among the newly provided weapons,
okay, here it goes.
Rocket system, which is a highly capable long.
And now I use the side that I cut off to connect in there like that, and I'll just connect these wires to my connector. So bam. See what I'm saying? See what I did? Cool.
That's why the United States actually sought assurances and secured those assurances from Ukraine that they would not use these rocket systems.
That was pretty nice. I don't have to search for a connector.
Yeah, that's right. Biden made Ukraine
I used the excess one, the extra one.
In Ukrainian territory. They will not use them in Russia. Yeah, so he's basically giving them advanced rockets, like a dad gives his teenager a credit card. It's like, now remember what I told you.
And we will only be using 2 wires out of this harness.
I don't want to see that charge again. But this is major help though. 700.
The blue and the black.
That's a ton of rockets.
We ain't gonna use the red one.
Maybe it's like 10 rockets. I never know what.
Because the blue and the black, the blue just switches the ground, so that's all we need. And that's funny because that's the same colors that's in there. That makes that kind of nice too. So.
And look, I get that America is trying to find the balance between helping Ukraine and triggering its own war with Russia, but still, this is putting Ukraine in a tough spot. Because who knows how easy these missiles are to use? You know, I don't want us to be in World War III just because some Ukrainian soldier entered the distance in kilometers when it was supposed to be in miles. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
gotta hook up the soldering gun down, do a little bit of soldering.
But I will say,
so let me move you guys around. He a fool.
My one-man show, Missile in Ukraine, will be debuting next week. You guys can join us.
America don't never invite us no down there.
We released a new Star Wars show on the streaming platform Disney Plus, which I've heard is good, but not as good as Paramount Plus. Now, this Star Wars show is not the one about the Mandalorian, and it's not the one about Boba Fett. No, this one is about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the galaxy's most powerful hobo. And anyone can see where this is going, right? Just like show after show on Disney. You see what they're doing? And you get it. The plan is to release a show about every character in Star Wars. It's genius. Make a ton of money. Personally, I can't wait for the Jabba the Hutt sitcom.
Turn the soldering iron on.
What? I know she broke your heart, Jabba, but you gotta start dating again. Dude, chaining her up and putting her in a gold bikini doesn't
show is introducing a lot of new characters to the Star Wars franchise, but there is one character in particular who isn't getting the warmest welcome from the fans.
This morning,
Okay, so we need a little switch, a little connector.
Co-star Moses Ingram after social media users launched racist attacks against her after her debut in the Jedi Knight's new series.
She brings so much to the
Go
series,
wet
she
and
brings so much to the
sponge.
franchise. And it just sickened me to my stomach to hear that this has been happening. We stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind.
Moses sharing she had received hundreds of racist messages following the series premiere.
There's nothing anybody can do to stop this hate. I think the thing that bothers me is that
Alright, while I'm waiting on this soldering iron to heat up, let's see what's going on over here. Well, nah, man, he only got one switch for the rear brake.
Neither should you be. No one should have to just shut up and take racism. I agree with that. Especially in Star Wars. Guys, like, what is
So, yeah, he only gonna have e-brake on one side on his rear brake.
This has been a series.
He can always add another one on the other side and just run it over in parallel.
If a brother and sister want to smash, no one complains about
So,
that.
but knowing him, he ain't gonna need it.
I'm so tired of fans attacking black people in Star Wars when there are so many other races and species that could be bigoted against. Think about it. You could hate everyone. Go on a rant about the creepy Twi'leks, you know, or the greedy Jawas. There's so many more opportunities for racism than just black people. Mix it up. Broaden your horizons. You know, or as the Ewoks say, David, what is it? Look at my boy. You know? Gotta think bigger. It really is. Get out there. And you know, it's really great that even McGregor made a video supporting his co-star, but I think Star Wars needs to come back even harder at the racists. Really make them suffer. You should give Princess Leia a new black boyfriend. That's right. It's gonna be a dope scene. He's gonna come back in and we'll be like, hey, yo, Leia, I got the plans for the Death Star. We're gonna tonight. Alright, finally, let's talk about families. You know, one of the best parts about having a family is that name and therapy for why you haven't succeeded in life. And also, you have people who will continue your lineage deep into the plastic bag global warming apocalypse. Now, there are a few cultures who take family more seriously than Indian people. But as this next story shows, some of them might be taking it a little too seriously.
All right, let's take a quick peek at what's trending right now. An unusual lawsuit in India. Parents are suing their only son for not giving them a grandchild.
Sajeev and Sadaya Prasad say that they've done their part. They paid for their son's pilot training, a lavish wedding, and even a honeymoon. And they say that they've waited 6 years for a grandchild, and now they have filed a lawsuit saying that if their son and daughter-in-law don't give them a grandchild within a year, they owe the parents 50 million rupees, which is equivalent to $675,000.
Damn! Damn, this is wild. They're suing their son for not giving them a grandchild. Being parents is so weird. You spend the first 18 years doing everything you can to stop your kids from having sex. And then as soon as they grow up, you turn into frat bros. Yo, you're gonna get laid, dude! And don't use a condom either. That shit's for losers. Just do it! Do it now!
Let's
As weird as
see.
it is, part of me sees where these parents are coming from, though. And the only reason you have kids is so that you can have grandchildren.
Alright, let's see where 22 and 6 was again on this plug. Goddamn, I forgot that quick.
The name is in it. It's
6 is the top, middle,
Yeah, and also
and
grandkids and grandparents are on the same
22
page.
is
Of course,
the
grandparents
top,
want to be grandparents, you know? They're the same thing. They
top,
love telling
middle,
long and pointless
and right
stories.
there.
They have so many of the same life experiences.
Ground goes there.
I walked in the park and I saw a puppy and I pooped it in my pants. Like, wow, same here, kiddo. But look, if these parents really want grandkids, I don't know if the lawsuits is really gonna help make that happen. Especially with like a year, you've given them a year. You realize every time now their son has sex, he's thinking about his parents. They did this, not me. And that lawsuit is definitely gonna help his dirty talk. Can you imagine this poor Indian guy is going to be in his bedroom? He's just like, do you like that? Do you like that? You like the way I'm trying to avoid paying $675,000 to my parents? This is a 50 million rupee pump right here. 50 million rupee. Tumse pyar. How would you do that? On May 14th, a man armed with an AR-15 style rifle shot up a supermarket in Buffalo. 10 days later, another man with an AR-15 style rifle shot up a school in Texas. And just yesterday, a man with an AR-15 style rifle shot up a medical building in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, you might think the problem here is all the AR-15 style rifles. But that just shows how little you know, because the real problem, according to some, is all the doors.
Have one door into and out of the school, and have that one door armed police officers at that door.
There should be one entrance in and one entrance out, and all of our elementary and all of our middle schools are small enough to do that.
It is about the single point of entry.
If the school was on lockdown, could the doors have been locked where you couldn't have gotten in?
Classroom doors should be hardened to make them lockable from the inside and closed to intruders from the outside.
That's right. America has a doors problem. In fact, some doors are totally unhinged, and yet politicians are doing nothing. And since we know other countries don't have America's mass shooting problem, that clearly means that they know something about doors that we don't. So we asked Michael Costa to hit the streets and find out how other countries deal with their doors.
In the days since Uvalde, we've had 11 more mass shootings. Hold on. Shit, another one. In the days since Uvalde, we've had 12 more mass. Hold on, still there. 13. Shit. 14 mass shootings. Jesus.
But for some reason, mass shootings are the one part of American culture that isn't popular in other countries.
How often are you having mass shootings in India? Is it weekly? Is it daily?
Uh-oh, sound like it's getting ready to get busy.
I've never heard of mass shooting violence.
Wow. So what are they doing differently than us?
Damn, I got that damn Sauron out there in the rain.
No one's really saying it.
I'm gonna have to stick that under the umbrella real quick.
America has too many doors. Wait, what did you say? The one
Damn.
thing America can do
Where
to
did that come
prevent
from?
mass shootings is to limit each school to one, or even better, 0 doors.
I just thought.
What?
That doesn't make sense.
One door? How is that gonna work?
What y'all talking about? I see this screen over here moving. High brake and a low brake. I just stated that a little while ago, Sean. High brake is connecting the sensor on the brake switch to source voltage, whatever your battery voltage is. You got a 48 volt, 52 volt, 72 volt. It's connecting it to source voltage. The low brake is connecting it to ground. So either one. Either one. That's what it is. Low brake connects to ground, high brake connects to source voltage. But they both doing the same damn thing.
These are little European doors, like little ones that like Hansel and Gretel walk through? No. This isn't the old days. With the old doors, the big...
Yeah, Smokey, I hear that thunder. You got that thunder over there too, boy?
These are new, modern doors, like even a kid can open them.
I don't know if you can hear it through this damn GoPro.
I'm not saying anything crazy. I'm just saying you should have a license to buy a door. You should have a background check.
Obviously, the birds don't give a damn about the rain. I hear them out there. They still howling.
Maybe there's a waiting period for you to buy a door.
So you say that buying guns should be easier than buying any door?
But what do guns have to do with it? Guns are what keep us safe.
Foreigners like to say that Americans are obsessed with guns. Yet when it comes to preventing mass shootings, all they wanted to talk about was guns. Now, who's obsessed?
You think it would help to ban revolvers? Yeah. You know the doors that go around like... Oh, I thought revolvers. Right. Oh, you were thinking of guns. No guns in the UK. No shooting. But what about your constitutional right to have a gun?
No constitutional right.
Whoa. Does it suck over there?
We have...
Regen settings for high or low brake as an option. Well, you know, the regen is different. The regen is the one when you get off the throttle. When you get off the throttle, the regen kicks in without even squeezing the brake. That's the difference between your e-brake. Your e-brake activates when you squeeze the brake handle. The regen activates as soon as you let go of the throttle. Now, the only thing is you can't change the regen. The regen is what it is. It activates as soon as the throttle is let go. So there's no ground or no source voltage on the regen. That's just as soon as you get off the throttle, it's activating the e-brake. Or I mean, yeah. But you don't have any choice in that matter as far as the regen goes. But you can set the amount of regen that you're getting when you get off the throttle. Now, like I said, it's best to set that very lightly. You don't want to get off the throttle and your bike is it's just automatically bogged down like you applied the brake. No, you just want that set very lightly. I had mine at 15%. It was just a subtle decrease, just enough to get that motor spinning to start charging my battery up. And I could barely feel it. Just barely. Alright, so let me check this again. Keep forgetting. Alright, 6 is right there. And 22 is right there. Alright. Okay. Goddamn rain, boy. Rain on my parade. Alright, there we go. No, it didn't snap in there yet. This one trying to be difficult. It's always one. I told you, it's always one. Got to be difficult. No, it's in there. I don't know why it's sitting back so far though. I think it can go down a little further. Alright, there we go, there we go. Alright, so on this connector here, we got our source voltage for our ignition, and we got our ground and our signal wire for our e-brake switch. Go ahead and put another zip tie on there. Hold them all together like so. And that was sweet how I used that plug. So therefore, when we come back over here, all I gotta do is plug up to his brake switch, bam, and then plug this back into this connector like that. and plug source voltage wire, which I put that on this little connector. And thank goodness I put that on that little connector. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to unplug that. So that made that nice where I can plug that 72 volts right back. Yeah, just like that there. Bam, and we straight. Now I'm glad Smokey bought this back because I did want to put this tape on this nut down there that's got 72 volts on it. Even though it wasn't touching nothing in there. Alright, so let me loop this cable up. Wait a minute, let me unplug that again. Look at the zip tie. We're gonna wrap this up. Alright, so there it is. Smokey, your e-brake wire is now connected. All I gotta do is go back in the app and turn it on in the app. Make sure I don't plug this in wrong again. I hate how they had this, man. They got this damn thing where you can accidentally mess it up. Plug it in the wrong way. That is some bullshit. Matter of fact, I'm going to unhook the battery, so just in case I don't plug it in there right. There we go. Last time it let me plug it in upside down because maybe I'm a little too strong.